Hello everybody, my name is Erik Teren Mullins, and today we're going to be checking out Mega Hobby Expo 2024. As of yet, I've yet to see anything about this expo, so I'm pretty hyped about some of these figures I'm going to get to see. I'm going to have some real hardcore freak out moments, I'm sure of it, because I'm such a big fan of all the companies at this expo. It's just so exciting. I'm obsessed with Alter, most of my collection seems to be Kotobukiya, and I just am a big fan of Megahouse as well, so let's get into this. Just a quick thing to mention is that in this video, I'm going to be going over all the highlights and the ones that I really love the most. And we're going to be starting Mega Hobby Expo 2024 off with Kotobukiya, because I freaking love Koto so much. My goodness, I'm actually really excited about this, as if you couldn't tell from all the energy that I've got going on right now. It's been so tough holding back and not looking at all the figure pictures as they were coming out. I really waited to the end of the convention so I could check out all the ones that interest me the most, all at once. I don't know what Erik Teren is, but this is a spicy figure. Look at these two. I wonder if you get the bed. I mean, I feel like you should. But these look very nice, and I'm such a big fan of nurses. Gee, I wonder why that is. This secret cute figure has such a beautiful dress. I love it. I love the texture so much. The pearlized reflective gloss that we have all over her bathing suity looking torso is absolutely lovely. And that cute little lantern is really nice too. I think it's nice that they put little snowflakes all over her base plate, but I feel like I need to see the base plate a little bit better because it looks kind of boring. But then again, if it's transparent and the snowflakes are really opaque, maybe you could put a nice light underneath it to create a cool effect. Oh, Hololive and your fun monster gals. This is nice. I love the horns. Her base plate is pretty cute. And I really enjoy how they gave her tail some personality. Having it coil around her leg is always a really nice touch, along with that beautiful gradient on her hair. But I would definitely like to see this figure from a few other angles to have a better idea of everything that's going on here. Because I'm not particularly a fan of the cutesy demon chibi creatures down on her base plate. I don't know what Let This Grieving Soul Retire is, but this looks cool. I love the pose, very Chun-Li. Everything seems nice. I don't really dig what's holding her foot up. She's up on her tippy toes, and I don't know if I really like the fact that they used an opaque piece of plastic to hold her foot up properly. I guess I'll have to see this thing when it's more completed to have a better idea of how she's gonna look. But as for the costume design, it definitely looks nicely sculpted, and her face looks so determined and fun. I've never been a particularly large Yu-Gi-Oh fan, not really a fan of the art style. That's completely subjective, and honestly, I like a lot of the character designs in the franchise. So seeing a bunch of monster figures coming out, sculpted by specific artists that are not gonna make it necessarily look like the artwork from the original card game, I am kind of down with this. Another 2-on-1 Astra? My goodness, Megami device. Koto, this looks gorgeous. I know because of your amazing ability to make sweet bases that this base is going to turn out looking good, especially considering the last base you came out with for Astra Archer was absolute garbage, but it does hold her up very well, and the figure is such a 10-on-10 figure, so I'm very excited to see how this one's going to turn out. It looks cute, the beach wear's nice, though I like my robot girls, and that's what the whole Megami device line really pushes. She just doesn't feel robot-y enough for me. But I love that canister next to her hip. Oh, what the heck? We're getting two of them? Okay, this one is very nice. Can't wait to see a couple more angles, but just the addition of the robot pieces, I really like that. This is beautiful. Not to mention that Nitty2D is such a great artist, and I'm a huge fan of most of his works. Every time I get to see his illustrations come to life in figure form, my goodness, I just want them all. Phantasy Star Online 2 Jenne. This looks really nice. I love the pose. The flag looks really great. And I'm always such a huge fan of race clothing. And I know that this says it's summer wear vacation, but it really screams racing to me, especially with that flag. I'm curious to see how it turns out. Okay, well, I freaking love Unicorn Overlord, and Etelind is ever so lovely. She makes me think of Deedlit from Record of Lodos, and this is so beautiful. I absolutely want this, and I'm crossing my fingers they come out with her sister, because Rosalind is arguably my favorite character in the game, and this figure here screams to have a sister statue to go next to her and connect. I really don't like the fact that her foot has this plastic base piece connecting into the base, but the base itself looks gorgeous in classic Kotobukiya fashion, and I'm sure it'll be transparent and it'll just look lovely. Koto knows what they're doing. They're really good with bases, so I'm so happy that they're making this. Of all the figure companies to be making Unicorn Overload stuff, I'm very excited for everything that is about to happen here. Like, bring them on, Koto. And a cute little Scarlet with a cobbled street. This is the exact sort of street that I would have liked to see on a Darkstalkers figure. I'm very curious how expensive these Overlord figures are going to be, because my spidey senses are telling me I'm just going to get all of them. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I'll be able to say no to this. I really hope that this company tackles all of them, because I don't want to have to get like one from Alter, one from Madhouse, one from Kotobukiya, one from... I just don't want all these different companies and versions of them. I want everything to be nicely scaled. I would love an epic Unicorn Overlord shelf. This is adorable. I'm most probably going to get it. I've never played any of the Trials games, but so many of the character designs in that game are so beautiful. So this is really lovely. I can't wait to see what she looks like colored in. And that about sums up all my highlights for Kotobukiya. Next up is Kesku, so let's see what they have to offer. And the first figure to catch my eye is this lovely one right here. This is from Baka Monogatari, which is an anime that I haven't seen. Clearly, I haven't been living for the past several years. I want to watch this show so bad. It's got tons of monster girls in it, so I have to get on that. It's just it's subtitled, and due to the fact that I'm one of those that mostly watches anime dubbed, I have very little time for subbed. It's only because I work extremely hard working on my own manga comic, so I have like no time to read subtitles. If anything, I should probably start learning how to speak Japanese so I can watch more shows while I'm drawing. This looks absolutely gorgeous. The base is awesome. I love the shredded up, ripped up dress. It's so cool. I'm very curious to see how she's gonna look colored in. There's no way in heck this thing holds itself up together without multiple different peg systems. So I'm very curious to see how she's gonna look with all of that installed. But regardless of that, this is very cool. The concept is cool. I'm just, you know, I want to see it from different angles. Not to mention, imagine the shelf space this girl's going to take up. If you're going to want to put anything next to her, it'll probably have to be a lying down figure or a sitting one. I got a couple in my mind that would work, but for the most part, especially with that giant ribbon that's coming all the way down near the back, it makes it very difficult to put her next to anything. So this isn't going to fit with everybody's shelves or everybody's space, but she is very beautiful. Despite all that, she does fit with my tastes quite a bit. Very cute monster girl. I love it. Blue Archive. My goodness. I keep seeing things for this everywhere. I'm not going to be able to play this game, but my goodness, do I love the designs. This is so pretty. It has so much personality to it. Very nice sculpt. Next up is Aniplex and Clinell. This Marin figure I find very beautiful. It doesn't look 100% like the anime's art style, especially since she's giving us triangle face smile, and in the anime it was so extremely triangular. I think this looks a little more natural, and personally, for my tastes and art style, I kind of like it a bit more. This is a very beautiful figure, and the fact that she's lying down really makes it perfect for somebody who has a lot of figures in their collection, because she can easily go front row and center and be visible while all the other ones tower behind her or over her. I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not getting this. I don't want to wake up every morning and be like, haha, how's it going, depression? I love this anime so much. I'm actually surprised at how well done the animation quality in this anime is. It's through the roof good, music incredible. It's like each episode is watching a mini movie, and the characters are so well developed. This is a fantastic anime to the point where I wouldn't mind having a figure from it. But even though this girl in particular is probably my favorite one in the series, I don't know if I would want her in a bathing suit sitting on a chair. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of boring, especially for the first figure I've seen of this series so far. I don't know, there might be more going through all the figures of this expo, but it's just to say that this is very well done, and if you're a fan of bathing suit adventures, congrats, this is a cool figure. I would have 100% bought this figure. I'm not really into lolly-like figures, it depends. This version of Unicorn in particular, she actually looks a lot older, and I love it. I think the wedding dress looks really beautiful. The pose, even this regal base that they've given her is nice. Not a big fan of the giant foot plastic that's there. You got metal pegs everywhere. You might as well have just put one there so it looked like she was floating completely. However, this figure is 39,600 yen. That is extreme in every sense of the word for price tags on a figure. She shouldn't be more than 20,300, and I get that there's a lot of detail and a lot going on with her, and it's not like she has crazy rigging on her like Alter's Eugen. She is beautiful, but at that price point, I'm gonna have to pass. I'm really sad about it. I'm kind of hoping when she gets released, maybe her market price will crash and I'll be able to get one for a decent price then. This is beautiful, and I really like this character, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. Now we're going to be going into some Megahouse, so I'm pretty hyped because I really love this company. Can't wait to see what they're coming out with. The fact that they're releasing a figure of a fictional character in an anime that there's a figure of is amazing. This looks really cool. This show is pretty hilarious. And it's weird how much the love that the characters in the anime have for this figure makes me like this figure that much more. It's very cute. I don't know. I want to see more angles and stuff for her. I just find it rather simplistic for a figure like this at 22,000 yen. That's quite a bit. Unless she's a figure with swappable parts or removable parts, I can't really see this price being warranted. Oh, of course, I keep saying things like that, but if you're a big fan of it, you're gonna spend the money you want to spend. I spent quite a bit on my Prince Eugen because I freaking love that character from Azur Lane, and there's a few other figures I spent quite a bit on, even paid premiums on, just because I like them so much. So when I say things like, oh, I don't know if it's worth this much, I'm just talking about amount of quality, plastics, paint, in comparison to the amount of money that they come up to, and I'm trying to look at it more objectively, but ultimately, your tastes are subjective. So, you know, get it if you love it. I always found that this Gundam suit in particular, like this figure looks like she comes straight out of Gurren Lagann, despite being a Gundam gal. But I really do love it. I love the costume, the hand coming out. It really gives off those Macross vibes too. And to an extent, Darling in the Franxx as well. This figure is all over the place with the design. I do think it's nice. The eyes look a little shadowed up, maybe a bit too much for my taste, but I really love the pink hair, the clips, and even the fact that her hair starts to become transparent at the ends, or maybe it's just a lighter painted plastic. Very nice. Oh my gosh, Asuna. This is very pretty. I like this. I think it's cute. She looks nice. This is a sweet figure. And at 8,800 yen, it doesn't really make any sense. I don't understand why this is so cheap. I feel like I'm probably gonna get this just because of that, because I'm curious of the amount of quality you get. Just looking at her hair strands up near the top, they definitely don't look that well sectioned off. You can kind of see some of the mold lines, but seeing her from different angles, maybe that'll change things up a notch. This does look cool, and I like how they kind of give her a bit of an action pose in her cute maid dress. This is really pretty in concept, and the face looks gorgeous. Despite mentioning my earlier sentiments towards the Yu-Gi-Oh! Art style, I did mention I like some of the designs, and the wizard is no exception. She's all over the place, and it's always really cool to see different variations. This looks really pretty. There's so many nice Yu-Gi-Oh! Figures coming out at the moment that all you fans of this franchise are eating pretty well this year. Oh, Desktop Army. This is so cool. My one dilemma with Desktop Army is that if you ever want it to look as nice as it does in all the photos, you have to put in the work, and you definitely have to add tons of paint applications yourself. I have a few, I built them, painted them, they look nice, but it's so much work for someone that just doesn't have a lot of free time. Unfortunately, I can't keep collecting them. I'm such a huge Nier fan for somebody that's not even really beaten the game before. I just love the music, I adore the character designs, it's just so beautiful. Next up, we're going to be looking at a couple of Amiami figures, maybe some Alice Glint, Goldenhead, and KDcolle. And apparently I'm starting it off with this blue archive figure right here. I get that this is extremely spicy, but I really like it. I think that the character looks really cute, super pretty, and the base looks super shiny. Those tiles are so well done, and the fact that they do them all the way to the edge of the border of the base, it's not just like on the top, it actually feels like tiles. This is really impressive. I love how reflective they are. I'm curious how reflective. Like, if you see this from a top view, will you get a nice reflection of what's going on underneath? Did Amiami go the distance with something like this? I don't know, but I do think it's kind of nice. And again, I like figures that are lower down, so this way I can show off more figures in a display cabinet. I love Azur Lane quite a bit, and so many of the character designs speak to me. This one is nice. The Halloween costume thing is always kind of cute. She's a little bit too lollyish for me, but I love that base plate. It's so nice, the little kitties everywhere. I think I'm just curious to see what it's gonna look like when it's all complete, but this figure isn't really for me. I'm just excited to see how it evolves. Saito Kai ni mo ana wa aru. I don't know what this is, don't know anything about it. I actually just really like the drawing, so I don't know how this figure is gonna turn out, but the eyes on this I find really nice. The coloring too, I just like it, so I don't know, I guess we'll see. Hopefully the figure will actually have that shine across the hair too. I don't know if it's something that I would get. I really love the painterly look that the art style here gives off. I'm curious if they're going to be able to replicate that in an actual figure. It's weird that I really love all the color scheme that's going on with this figure, but there's something about it that I find off, and I don't know what that is. Maybe it's the little crown that she has. The face looks pretty. Everything here looks pretty. I usually really love this sort of thing, but for some reason, it's just not speaking to me. And the hair looks gorgeous. Maybe it's the fact that looking at this image, everything just feels so matte. I do really love my textures and how they can really break a figure's monotony up in its design and its coloration. So, it might be that. So next up we have the company Amakuni, and this one is pretty cool. I definitely like the concept. The base is just gorgeous. This is really a showpiece. I feel like having this will take up so much space, and it really attracts people to look at it. There's just so much going on here. It's so wild. I am a little curious about leaning over the years. I get that they're supposed to be plugged in there and look like they're floating around. I'm just curious how well they're plugged in there. This is a character just titled Sarah, and I actually really like this. I think this is really cute. She has that super annoyed, frustrated look on her face, and the whole thing is extremely spicy, but with the base, the chair, everything here looks so well put together, and that hair, oh, I love that they put the shine across the top in a nice, lovely, fluorescent, neonish looking blue. This whole figure just looks really well made, and I love those eyes. This is really adorable. I had seen this figure a little while back. I do think it's cute. If you love this character, it's definitely worth getting all the different variations of her. But because I'm going to be getting her in her regular pink suit, I don't know if I would want to get another figure, especially considering I don't play the game. I just love a lot of the character designs. It seems as though Amakuni is getting the license to Nike in spades. This is really nice. I'm curious if they're going to pull off that base, because if they do, terrific, fantastic. I just don't know if they will. Regardless, this figure looks really cute, and I love how she has sand all over her knees. This one is pretty hardcore. If we can get some legs that look that reflective, I would find this to be quite an intriguing figure indeed. I like how we have the ice here melting on her chest, but the problem is I haven't seen many figure companies pull something off like this well. Is Amakuni gonna do it? I don't know. Not to mention, I'm not particularly a fan of the way that this artist draws the faces. That's just a personal preference though, so if you love this character, go for it 100%. It's just, I'm kind of in the middle about it. This looks gorgeous, and I'm very curious how she's going to stand. I feel like it might be similar to that Gridman figure of Rika that they're making. I've pre-ordered this figure. She looks awesome. I'm super curious to see the whole way everything all connects and does what it does. But for somebody that might not have a lot of space, this is really cool because you can now hang up this tiny little floating shelf, have your figure hanging from said floated shelf, and put a figure on top of that shelf. So you kind of get like extra figure placement. And if it turns out that Amakuni does something similar with Viper here, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see, but that would be really awesome. Another Toru and another lack of tail. This is a hard pass for me, even though I freaking love cow suits, and this is cute and her face looks awesome. You know what? I'm not gonna get angry about this. I just expect it at this point. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Phantasy Star Online 2 and their beautiful character designs. This is amazing. I hate those base plates, they're terrible. They should have just made them look like sand. It's really not hard to do, to the point where I feel like I could just get some spray on glue, remove these characters from their bases, and do the same sort of thing that you do with miniature figures that you paint like for Warhammer or D&D or whatever, and then sprinkle some sand on there, and boom, now they're at the beach and I've pulled it off myself. It's just disappointing to see that the company themselves are going to give us these clear, boring pieces of garbage, but these aren't finalized figures, so maybe we'll get lucky and they'll do something a little nicer. Regardless, these both look fantastic. Though I am a little bit curious about the difference in textures. It seems like the water gun and there's like a few things here and there that really pop, but other than that, everything seems kind of matte. I feel like the bathing suits should have been a lot glossier, and maybe they will be. These are still just prototypes after all. Okay, wow. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to say. I'm a fan of Jenna to begin with, and this is like super spice demon Jenna with that super spicy tattoo that she's got on her. This is really cool, but oh, that base. You're making me sick over here with that base. But regardless, I really like this, especially the hair and how everything looks kind of like sandy and spiky to go with the horns that she has. I do want a better view of those lips. They look kind of like they're pressed together. Maybe she's giving like a kiss sound or effect, but I need to see this much better. The eyes look gorgeous. They really pop on the darkness of this character's skin, shading we get underneath her eyes with the blush. It's really down my alley and my style. Even the ice cream cone is kind of cute. I feel like I would have made it melting just a little bit more. The reflective paint that we get on her nails too is just so fantastic. It seems like she might have it on her toenails too, which would be perfect. And all the little details with her bracelets and everything are just phenomenal. So spice and very cute. I'd seen this pop up for pre-order and they come separately. I'm a little disappointed about that because I feel like conceptually the two together are super cute. Perhaps they could have sold them separately, but you get a deal if you buy them together. That's what I would have done anyway. And last, but certainly not least, it's altar time! I actually saved it for last because I had this feeling that I'll be just gushing over everything on here. And I want to go into this looking at one of my favorite companies of all time and the amount of quality that they push out in comparison to the other ones that I mentioned prior. I started with Kotobukiya because I freaking love the quality that you get from Koto figures at their price points. It's just so good, you could argue it can't be beat. And yet, if I had all the money in the world, would I still get Koto statues? Definitely, but I would have so many more altar ones. So here we go, altar, let's do this. I don't know much about Idolmasters, but I freaking love the overcomplicated design that they go in with the fashion here. This is so cool. I'm really curious about what she looks like on the back, but just looking at her from a front, this is pretty. I know that it's overly busy. It's just, I tend to really like things that are overly busy. I like looking at all those tiny little intricate details and things like that on every single figure, and it's part of why I like how Alter really puts time and care into quality control for a lot of these smaller little details, so you get things that you don't necessarily get in other figures. And it's not always that noticeable, but it's funny because like once you mention it to somebody who might be looking at your figure, then they can't not look at it. I think that's really cool, and this figure has a lot going on, but I like a lot of what's going on here. And this one's no different. This is another Idolmaster, and this is really cute. Also sitting on that chair is lovely. A lower figure, always great. And geez, look at all that detail. That is awesome. It has so much personality. You can tell that that's this person's home, and she likes putting all these different type of covers all over the place because she's too cold, or maybe that cover's too warm, or she doesn't like the texture of this one on these specific nights. Like, people think like this, and so it's fun to see putting that kind of personality into a figure. I freaking love this anime, and this looks gorgeous, but I can't possibly imagine how much Alter is going to charge for that motorcycle. It's like the figure is going to be 8,000 yen, but the motorcycle, oh my goodness, that thing's going to be like 25,000 yen. Eurocamp is adorable, by the way, so if you like slice of life adorable things that kind of teach you a little bit about the great outdoors, this is a great anime. Allô Algérie, ça fait un petit bout que je vous attends. You look lovely. The colors are beautiful. You are gorgeous. I really wanted the rigging. My goodness, what, you're gonna give the rigging to all the countries, but you're not gonna give it to this French girl? Get out of here. I don't want to see this. This is beautiful, Alter. Just make the flipping rigging for her. I want rigging all the time. It's what makes Azur characters so intriguing, is the fact that they have all these robot parts all about them. And Algérie, she deserves it. And the fact that you didn't give Chérie Algérie all of that rigging is a disappointment and a hard pass. Like, I'm not gonna get this figure just because of that. Which is a shame because she looks gorgeous. Just look at her hair. What the heck? It's like ins and outs like you can't believe. Alter's hair game is really, they're pushing new boundaries, and I freaking love it. Even the curls down on her shoulders are absolutely beautiful. Okay, so this one is very spicy, and I wouldn't mind getting it if it weren't for the fact that Glorious's artwork here, especially her face, doesn't particularly look like King Korra's art style. King Korra draws her eyes in a very particular way, and this doesn't look like it. Just because of that, I'm gonna pass on this figure. I still think it looks nice. It's just my favorite artist of all time is the artist that drew the original drawing to this, and I would have liked it to be a bit more accurate. It's possible that it's just because of the lighting. Like, that happens, but I do have to mention that Neon Max is also making a Glorious figure. And as it stands for the sculpt work, but even the eye decals that they show you here, it's so spot on King Korra that, look at that base. This is beautiful. I am absolutely gonna get this. However, if you're a huge fan of this costume, because she is quite spicy and it does look lovely, don't let my debate stop you. This figure looks gorgeous. Oh, yeah, okay, so I wanted a Taihu for the longest time, and I just never gotten one. I don't know, like little things here and there where I just never pulled the trigger. I'm kind of sad I missed out on that Kotobukiya one back in the day that was just her in her regular uniform. I like that one pretty much the most, but this one is very nice. It's so beautiful with the cat and the books. I'm kind of hoping we can move the cat because I'd like to take that cat and maybe put it on her head or on her bag, which looks lovely, by the way. No one does textures better than Alter. This is phenomenal. Her hair all over the place is gorgeous. That tiny cute little clip is lovely, but I'm surprised that they would actually put an Eagle Union character there. I feel like maybe they should have just put another Sakura Empire one, or maybe it should have been a little clip of the Shikan. Like, that would have been really perfect. Regardless of that, this figure is very high up on my list, and I'm most probably going to be getting her. I'm curious if those glasses are removable, and if they are, if I could put them on my Nurse Perseus. Whew, a little bit of Bremerton love. This is really nice, but not so much for me. I do think it's cute. The cowgirl theme is lovely here, and that base, super soft, very great. If you are a Bremerton fan, congratulations. This figure looks pretty cool. Though, I do find the face looks a little bit odd. I'd have to look at the actual illustration to compare, to have a decent opinion on it. Well, this is just like a solid yes. Of course, I'm gonna be getting Percival. I'm a huge fan of her, and this is really lovely. I think this is cute. I know I go on about Azur Lane and how I want all their rigging, but these are specific skins that don't have the rigging, and I do like this. It's just, I would love rigging on the characters that should have it. Even her thigh-high stockings that have the beautiful little ribbon going on the side with the bow at the top, it's so lovely and so expertly sculpted. Look at that skin. It looks like you could actually, like, move it around. Like, it just looks so alive. And I'm pretty sure that we can take her shoe that's on the floor there and hang it off of her foot, which is something I would like to do, so hopefully that's an option. Okay. Odds are I'm gonna get this one as well. I really like Aegir quite a bit, and I've really wanted a figure for her for a little while now, and I've been waiting for this one. I have her Weiss Schwarz card. It's the very first Weiss Schwarz card I've ever purchased, and I just really like it. So we'll see. I can't wait to see this thing colored in. She looks fantastic. This is so spicy. It's awesome. It's so awesome. I'm curious what her price tag is going to be too, because that chair does not look cheap. That looks like a very expensive chair, and like, history has kind of shown that Aegir in general is a very bougie individual, where no matter what figure you get of her, it's gonna cost you. Is this a figure or just a picture? This looks like a picture of a figure. Regardless, this is absolutely beautiful. I would never get this because if this, once this figure is all created, something's telling me that it's going to be way too big. And I have quite a few large figures as it is. This thing feels like it could take up an entire Detolf shelf. It's massive, like what the heck, but very beautiful. I keep telling myself that there's no way I would get this, but I'm so afraid of what it's gonna be like when it's up on pre-order for Amiami. Come on, Eric, steely resolve, there are other figures you want to get. Like this one. Oh my god, she looks so good. Where is her rigging? I mean, release this figure and then release the rigging in 2 different pieces. Let's say 3 months down the line, this rigging, it's $140, and then you pay for the other half, $140, another 3 months later. Do something like that. That would be sweet. This is such a great figure, and I know the rigging would make her take up a lot of place, but my god, Jersey deserves it. Look how cool she is. The jacket, the stance, the facial expression. She has so much power behind her. Like, this is a real definition of a girl boss, and she looks awesome. I just really am sad she doesn't have the rigging, and I feel like despite not having it, I might pull the trigger on getting her anyway. I don't know, but this is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I want her rigging so bad. The giant chonky base peg holding her up in the back is quite an eyesore. It just looks absolutely terrible. So hopefully they think of something to color this up with, or I'll take a metal peg over that any day of the year. I don't know, maybe they could do something that feels like robotic pixelated or something, and then I would put it more than in just one section, maybe in a couple spots so it looks like it's part of her whole decoupage. Look at all the twists and pulls and bends in the fabric, even on the inside of the jacket where it looks so soft. It seems like it's actual material that has been sewn all across. This is really pretty, and I can't wait to see more. Another no rigging figure who definitely could have deserved it. She kind of looks like a chess piece with that base. I think it's kind of a cute chair, despite the fact that she doesn't come with her rigging. Am I gonna get her? Maybe. You know, like, at least they could come out with an acrylic standee of the rigging that you put around or behind her. That would have been cool, right? It would have worked. It wouldn't take up as much space, and because she's so accurate to the illustration, having an illustration mesh with this figure would make it feel like it's a 2.5D figure. Just am so disappointed. You know what's crazy is that maybe I'll do it. Maybe I will buy some of these figures, I'll get some of King Korra's artwork, high resolution, and I'll work hard at doing a decoupage, and then I'll redraw all the parts that end up getting cut out, and then I'll print it out as like 2 different acrylic standees that can go on one end to make an angle and have that surround the character, because they need it. It makes them imposing, and a lot of the times the figure's whole design in the illustration has this beautiful circle that your eye keeps going around based off of the rigging. So without it, your character feels really off-center, asymmetrical, and not in a good way. Despite that, she still looks absolutely incredible. I love Implacable, and I'm probably gonna get her even without it. But making my own 2D rigging. Oh, Azerlane, what are you doing to me? It's just hit after hit. This is so pretty. I love how spicy this is. The level of personality that she exudes from every single inch of her creation. Look at that tail, and even in between the pulled section offs of each tail, you can see all the tiny little cogs and robotic pieces. This is so awesome. What a cool figure. I hope she has a nicer base than this. She probably will, although Alter doesn't always have nice bases. They're not Kotobukiya. I've been watching the illustration to this Nikkei figure, and this is like, wow. Wow. Just 2 full figures on a whole base? Look at the hair. Look at all that money that's flying everywhere, because clearly they're at some sort of casino. The pole looks gorgeous. And the faces look really good, so full of life and happy and energy. I always love that. Big smiles for big energy. This is cute. Toki's adorable. I'm already getting the Toki bunny suit version, so I'm pretty excited for that figure to be released, which I really, really, really love. This whole thing, the pose, everything here is so elegant. But this is really nice as well, and with her pose and how small that base plate looks, I almost feel like you could have them positioned back to back. Oh my gosh, so I guess it's like the continuation of the bunny suit one I just showed you, where she's walking looking all pretty and then she trips, falls, and lands on this beautiful carpet, all like this in this pose. And I guess she's just pushing her hair back to be like, yeah, sorry, I fell like this by accident. There are so many lying down figures or seated ones coming out recently. I find it pretty exciting. Arknights. I know nothing about, but oh my gosh. I am, like, probably gonna get this. This is really epic. Look at her hair. Her hair turns into smoke. Now this is a monster girl. She's got this tail that's epic. I think that like a berserk style sword. I know it's not berserk. It just makes me think of that. Looks great. The little smoky pieces we get all around her. It seems like we got some on her boots and everything. The horns, her red eye, this sweet spiked out tie, and even the way her dress slowly shades and gradients into the darker smoky colors. Wow, this is such a cool figure. I can't, oh my gosh. Yep, but I need to see her from the back because that hair, I'm freaking out over that hair. That's so special. That's beautiful. I love monster girls and I always want more of them. I would have even made her skin color like a dark blue, maybe even like a black, like a charcoal bluish black, something that really is monstery. But this Arknight's character doesn't look like that. It's just, I like things that are just pushed a little bit further in the monster department. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They've recently announced a figure of Epsilon, and for real, I think it's extremely expensive for a character that's just standing there not doing anything. And the fact that they didn't do any slime stuff affiliated to her whatsoever in this figure that's so expensive seems like such a hard waste. I would have made at least the top part of her body or parts of her body transparent. They didn't do any of that. This figure looks freaking awesome. I mean, she's got the slime and the goo, her base looks beautiful, and if she's got a bit of transparency going on in her actual body, or if they do some sort of slimy stuff on her body in general, this is a home run for me. I freaking love slime girls, and do you know how many slime girl statues that we have? Maybe there's like 1, 2, and I'm not talking garage kits, I'm talking an actual scale figure here, and a quality one, if anything. I don't even think there's one, honestly, but if there are more than one, please write so in the comment section below. I would actually love to know because I freaking love slime girls. Hopefully this girl basically checks off everything on my list because just looking at this is so cool. This says it's Tohu Project. I don't really know what that is, but this base looks gorgeous. This is a nice fine art statue right here. All of that is lovely. Very, very beautiful figure. We're getting more Nikkei stuff coming. This looks lovely. This is also extremely beautiful. The pouty face here is super cute. And this one's just a solid win all around. But despite my having said this about all these little illustrations of figures, I do like when things look a little more extravagant. I like things when they have all the little details and intricacies of a robot or the warpings and manipulations of a monster. So if it's just a girl wearing a bunny suit, a school uniform, a maid outfit, I do think they look really nice. But I kind of want a little bit more, or a twist to that classic story that we see in a lot of these illustrations. Unzen looks gorgeous. I just don't know. The little eye that she has that's glowing, most figures notoriously have trouble pulling that off, but Alter's so good. So I'd like to think that they would do an amazing job at it. I'll say. Obviously this is super spice. I mean, the picture's ridiculous. But I love the mask so much for this figure and the little crown that she's wearing that I would be willing to get this just based off of how cool I think that is. Elb! I just want regular Elb, not Elb in school outfit or Elb on her Sunday date or Elb delivering beers, which they're all great. They're all great. Elb is a great character, but I just want her regular uniform. I think it looks beautiful. No way. There's no way they're gonna make this figure. If they do, I'm gonna buy it. It's gonna be an event. It's probably gonna cost like over $1,000. There's just no way. I know that they're showing us this little picture, but she has her attendants there at her beck and call, helping her make or put on this costume. I love all those characters, and having them all in one big figure. The original artwork is so beautiful. That is amazing if they do this. I just can't imagine how expensive it's gonna be. I hope they do it. Considering Alter doesn't even feel like doing rigging anymore, are they gonna go the distance and make a multiple figure super ultimate statue? That's so expensive and not everybody has that kind of money. So I guess we'll wait and see. And that about sums up all the things I'm super looking forward to. These are the ones that I loved like crazy. This was an amazing expo. I can't believe how many colored and finished products they showed up with. There's just so many cool ones. I'm super excited. If you like my video just a little bit, it doesn't cost much to collect that like, covet that subscribe, and ring that notification bell. It goes a crazy long way at helping support my channel, and I really appreciate it. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Oh, one quick thing to mention before I go today. I freaking love Monster Girls. They're just my favorite, okay? I think they're so great, and I really love Robot Girls too, but over the years, almost everything has been Robot Girl, and they just keep coming out with more and more and more Robot Girls. I want more Monster Girls. I want all sorts of different skin colors, extra arms, less fingers, more fingers, crazy horns, not just little ones here or there, super weird alien looking things. I wouldn't mind tails, tentacles, wings, multiple wings, feathers, different types of weird feathers. Give me everything. I want Monster Girls. And they just don't seem to be making nearly enough of these Monster Girls. You know what? Monster Girl Encyclopedia. They should just go through the entire thing and just make every single character, because almost all of those designs look really great, and I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to sell on their own 2 feet, not only because of the fact that the encyclopedia is still somewhat popular to an extent, but also because their designs are awesome. And the thing is that imagine getting like a Monster Girl Encyclopedia character, and the special Amiami exclusive or whatever exclusive that comes with it would be a little page of that character from the book. So if you got like 4 or 5 of them, you have like 4 or 5 pages from the book. That would be so cool, and you get to know a little bit about the character because it's all written on there. Monster Girls. Monster Girls. Monster Girls.